Hi, this is the third film in my series about Bence farm in Hungary, and today we're going to be looking at the very special cinema hide. Now this is a hide that has its own lighting system, so you can be photographing there day and night. And if you're prepared to stay up late enough, you've got a very good chance of photographing otters. Just leaves the question, when do you sleep? This is the cinema hide, but you might think it's just a viewing platform. But there's a trapdoor in the floor and some steps going down. All of Bence's hides are a bit special. The guide who takes you to the hide clears up the water a little bit by removing some of the seeds on the surface. This is the only hide that has a bit of fine netting on the outside of the glass. This is to stop small birds flying into the glass. It's very fine netting and you don't notice it through the lens. The hide is unique because it has its own lighting system. You can have white light, yellow light, left and right, backlighting, and notice floor heat as well. It gets cold in the winter, it's got a heated floor. The bird that's really a speciality for this hide is the black-crowned night heron, a bird that does occur in the UK in small numbers. Tiny little heron and quite active of a night. This bird is displaying at the moment. It's put its back up. There's another night heron about. Again, gregarious species, but they do squabble amongst themselves. Here he is. Most of the time they tolerate each other, but there must be something about this individual that this bird either doesn't like or likes a lot. I'm not sure which. There's plenty about. One of the problems at this hide is getting a clean shot without another bird in the background. That can be difficult to achieve at times. You have to be very patient waiting to separate the birds. Now the right-hand bird is clearly very uncomfortable about the approaching bird, so off he goes. But it's not just night herons that visit this area. It's good for all sorts of herons, storks, egrets. So here we have a grey heron, a great egret and a moorhen. But we're also going to get black storks and little egrets. In fact, there's a little egret on the right hand side. We get both great little egret and grey herons in the UK. I did 3 sessions in this hide over the week, so that's about 12 hours during the daylight, and then extra time in the dark as well. Sometimes this pond is a bit overcrowded with birds and then it empties out. The birds come and go throughout the day. You can imagine once they've eaten 2 or 3 fish, they're pretty well fed and they can go off and rest, and another bird will come in and take their place. I'm using the 40 to 150mm f2.8 lens here, which is not a lens I use that often for bird photography, but you are very close to the action. And the light was not great, so it was helpful to have that f2.8 lens. Not 1, but 2 fish. And this happened more than once. This is the little egret, which is now quite common and widespread in the UK. Didn't used to be, but these last couple of decades they have spread enormously. Most of the time I'm using the 40 to 150mm lens. That's what I've got on the tripod head in the hide. Occasionally, if I wanted a headshot, I'd pull out the 150 to 400 and hand hold it. And this is the great white egret, also now found in the UK, but not so common, not so widespread as the little egret. The black stork, not found in the UK and fairly rare in Europe. As the light starts to fade, you start looking at the lighting panel. I've no experience here, we've just got to experiment. But now it's dusk, one last feed and the birds start to thin out. And once it's dark, you're just left with the night herons. You have to underexpose them quite a bit to keep some detail in the white plumage. 1.5 stops at least underexposed. And your shutter speeds are quite slow. And if you're prepared to put the time in, the chance of seeing or photographing otters is very high. Shutter speed is even lower, at a 40th of a second, but the otter doesn't move much, so you're okay, and it makes the water droplets look nice. Also, you can see there's an orange light coming from the background here. This you can switch on or off. You've just got to experiment. There, the orange light is off. So it's just front lighting. Now in the description underneath the video I will be putting a link to Bence Matty's website where you can go and read all about his setup. But although it's full of photographs of the hides and the wildlife you're likely to photograph, it doesn't tell you that much about the actual trip. So I'm going to try and fill in that gap a little bit here by telling what happened to us in our situation. Now there is an email address on the website, and if you send them an email, almost certainly the person that will respond to you is Andrea. Now Andrea has absolutely perfect English, and she has a style of writing that will make you feel good. She's particularly friendly and helpful. Now on the week that we were there were 14 photographers. We weren't all travelling together, people had come independently, but its normal routine is Saturday to Saturday. It's a full week. Now it's quite likely that if you wanted to go for 3 days or 10 days, if they've got the space, they would probably accommodate you. But the normal is Saturday to Saturday. And of course that makes it much easier for them, because on the Saturday they get extra staff in because they've got to clean out the rooms and change all the bedding, etc. So it is more convenient for them to do Saturday to Saturday. So we flew in to Budapest on the very earliest flight from London Heathrow with British Airways and got there at 11 o'clock. You need to be there for midday to meet up with everybody, then get to the farm. Now you get from the airport to the farm by taxi, but Andrea will arrange that for you. She will book the taxi, and you don't have to pay for the taxi then. You pay for the taxi when you get to the farm. If there's other people also going to be at the airport, Andrea will try to match you all up so you can get one big taxi. So there was 5 of us met up at Budapest airport and shared a taxi. It ended up costing 60 euros per person each way, 120 euros in total. It's about a 90-minute journey. We flew with British Airways, by the way, which is currently my favourite airline to fly with, because the hand luggage limit is 23 kilo, the same as you can put in the hold as well. And from a photographer's point of view, that's very reassuring. You're not going to be stopped taking your bag into the cabin. Although, be aware, you don't want a camera bag with wheels on. They do tend to pick on bags with wheels on to say you can't take that on board no matter what the weight. So you'll be arriving at the farm early afternoon, they show you to your rooms, and then you go down for lunch. During the meal, they'll be allocating you to your hide that you're going to go into that afternoon. And that becomes a routine. When you sit down for your evening meal, they'll be talking about which hide you're going to go in the morning. And then the following lunchtime, which hide you're going to go in the afternoon. And there's usually opportunity to do each of the major hides twice, at least twice. The cost of the trip will include your food, your accommodation, the guides and the hides. Doesn't include alcoholic drinks, as very few tours do. Any other questions you've got, Andrea is the perfect person to ask.